So now that we've seen that this is the area where most of our time goes into, and it looks like a very simple thing, so it's difficult to understand why most of our time goes there. So let's go ahead and investigate. Let's put a breakpoint here and run our code again. Perfect. Calc statistics, and we got here. Now, obviously we can step through, but I'm going to use now step into F11. I want to see what happens when this code gets executed. What happens underneath the hood? So when I press F11, it suddenly went to the bind visible expression of a control that I have on the screen and calculated it. Very quickly, but I end up seeing it again and again and again. If I press F11 here, I can see again that the bind visible expression gets calculated. You know what? Let's measure that. Let's add another profiling session here. env utilities profiler start context and bind visible expression of control. And yes, we can put spaces here, so it's not a problem. Curly brackets, and run this again in profile. I'm gonna say profiler start profiling and give it a number and run it. Release the breakpoint and see that it runs. And we can see here that for every time we are updating the parent product total, the bind visible expression gets calculated. And we're updating the update parent total, the bind visible expression gets calculated. And it takes a lot of time. Actually, you can see here that there's twice as many calls here than there are here, because in this piece of the code, there are actually two update statements. So for every update statement, it's calculating the visible expression of the controller on the parent controller. And this is something that one needs to know about migrated applications. Applications that were migrated up to or from Magic Unipass and less, 8, 9, 10 Unipass, will calculate all the expressions on the screen for every update that you do. And this will obviously cause a performance problem when you have a lot of expression or when the expression is expensive. In this case, we've made 4,000 calls, which took 900 milliseconds, and if you dive a bit deeper, you'll be able to see that what it's actually doing is checking if a file exists, which is an operation on the network, which can be a bit more expensive. But it was doing it 4,000 times, and there's no need to do it 4,000 times. So as we said, up till Unipass, and applications that were migrated for Unipass and older versions of Magic, will calculate all the expressions on the screen for every update. And in XVA, they've changed that, but they changed it in a great method that affects everything and has all of its own problems. But we can change it in .NET for a specific controller. We can go over to the view, look at the designer, and at the properties, we can change the properties that controls that, which is called reevaluate control expression on relevant value change only. And when I set this to true, the control expression will only be calculated if something that affects it directly, a field that is used in its expression, has changed. Okay. Now this can have side effects. For example, if you have time on the screen, it will not reevaluate, but in most cases, it will give you a huge performance benefit. Let's see what we got from that. Let's run our code again. And let's run a new calculation. And we can see that we went down from 1.1 seconds to 0.1 seconds. We run now 10 times faster. And if we profile this, we'll be able to see that the only rows that previously took a whole second now take 61 milliseconds. And when we zoom in, we can see that all of these operations are not calling the expression again. Okay, so all of this is calculated once when it's needed. Great. So we could see here how with a simple flag, in this case called reevaluate control expression on relevant value change only, we were able to take this screen and improve its performance 10 times. Now again, you will see it in code where there is a child task that updates a variable on a parent task that has a lot of expressions on the screen. And I think cases we were able to improve performance, take things down from 2 minutes to 30 seconds with this simple fix. I hope you find this useful.